about a couple of things today, specifically concerning separation and connection. The fact is, everything is connected in the universe. It's all connected. It impacts each other, and whether or not we understand or see it, everything has a play. Now, in this world, there's a lot of belief that we are separate, whether that comes in ostracizing and hurting other people because we don't believe that we are all one and the same. That's putting walls between people, treating them differently based on skin color or ethnicity or past. It doesn't matter. It's all part of the same thing. It's not believing that we are connected. It's the same thing that I see also in the medical industry, where you would go into the body and cut something out rather than look at a holistic approach, because we, for some reason, believe that things are separate and we treat them as such. And that has a lot of implications, because when you don't treat things as a cohesive whole, something that you do over here has a domino effect for something that happens over there. And yet we are wasting our resources and our time treating these things as discrete, separate entities, wasting so much energy pouring into treatments and effects that aren't actually effectual at all, because they're treating things separately. So one of the prime examples that I wanted to bring up today, put it on blast, is, for instance, spraying chemicals as insecticide. Here in Jordan, we have these trucks that drive around and spray pesticide or insecticide, whatever it is, for mosquitoes. Don't know what the chemical exactly is. Really hope it's not DDT. You can look that up and how toxic that is. But it certainly is an old technology. It's something that is very toxic, not only to the plants, insects, animals all around, also the humans that are breathing it in. And they spray this to kill off the mosquitoes. And this is not happening. The mosquitoes aren't dying. The mosquitoes are still here. And I can tell you that the mosquitoes are a lot stronger now. It's been a few years of this, and the mosquitoes seem to be mutant strains that have a lot more kick to them. When they bite, there's a lot more inflammation and poison in what they are passing on to humans. And I woke up today and I found a dead bee. There's always several dead bees after they spray this. The bees are necessary. The bees are our pollinators. The bees are what are keeping our crops alive, what is keeping us alive. And yet we are still functioning in this prehistoric mindset that we need to burn things that we don't like or try to kill them. Now, this is the same principle with antibiotics. Now, there are certain situations where it's like life or death, you've got to kill this bad bacteria mouth, wonderful. And there are also natural alternatives. But when you go in and you kind of wipe out the entire population trying to deal with one problem, what you get is a series of fallouts. You get a lot of other issues that come from that. For example, mutant strains of bacteria. Did you know that hospitals have created MRSA? MRSA is a strain of bacteria that is extremely resistant to almost all types of antibiotics. And this has all been created because there's an arms race between humans and bacteria and single-celled organisms, in which, we try to get smarter and kick them off, and they get stronger, because they learn to adapt, to become resistant to the things that we're trying to kill them off with. So in nature, things work symbiotically. There's a purpose to everything. You can use something that has kind of a synergistic effect, and this is why I want to mention oregano oil, because oregano oil is one of the only things that kills MRSA. And the reason that it kills MRSA is because it's got thousands of compounds that work synergistically, and they attack the bacteria from multiple angles, and the bacteria cannot mutate fast enough to cope with it. Whereas when you have an antibiotic that is one-to-one, as in it is created to kill a certain type of bacteria and has only got that mode of operation, what happens is the bacteria can mutate, they can get stronger, and they can get past it. That's number one. The second problem with taking antibiotics is that you're basically wiping out your gut bacteria, your gut microbiome. There's tons of good probiotics in there that you need to digest and live. So this is another one of the examples where you're just kind of killing things with fire and not realizing that there are effects. So I wanted to go out and mention this about the pesticide being sprayed here. Like, we really need to stop this. It is unhealthy. It's poisonous. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if you've heard at this moment in time, but apparently it's still okay for capitalism and the government to exist and go around burning the rainforest. This is happening right now in Brazil. The rainforest is necessary. It's one of the biggest storages of carbon on the earth, where carbon is sequestered into these trees, and once you burn them, you release way more into the atmosphere. And I don't know if anyone's realized, but climate change is a thing. Destruction of the environment is a thing. And I think one of the things that stops us from realizing that we could do anything about it is thinking that we are this small little individual and our little actions can do nothing. But I want you to know that your little action is a domino effect. Anything that you do in your life to improve your circumstance, to improve your family's life, to improve your country, let alone to improve your world, has an effect. If something small that is negative, such as spraying mosquitoes, can kill off bees, then something positive can have an effect as well. And I just want you to know that until we realize our power and we come together and we do small things in our life and we believe that we can do small things, nothing's going to change. That's one. And the second thing is realizing that it is all interconnected. Realizing that we are not separate from each other. We are all one. So you feeling like it has nothing to do with you, that a part of your Mother Earth is burning somewhere else, is just part of the separation. It's just part of feeling selfish and individual and alone, whereas you're actually connected to all of this, and that is our air, that is our food, that is our water, this is our mother. And until we all realize this connection within ourselves and begin to take small actions in our own lives and share that with the people that we know, we're going to feel isolated and powerless. I want you to know there is hope and there's change on the way, but it comes through people like you taking a stand, people like you making small changes in your lives, even though people might tell you that that won't make a difference. If something negative can make a difference, then so can something positive. And that is my message of motivation to you today.